Y'all know what time it is. It's Queen Talk, not small talk. I am back. I am back. I know it's been a while. I was gone for the whole entire week because I just was trying to get my life together, to be honest. And it was also very fun to like play around with like the shorts and the posts. And I got a decent amount of new subscribers. So to all my new subscribers, welcome. If you're new here, most of my content is through the live streaming content that I make. Um, I don't really make like dedicated shorts very often. It's usually just like snippets of my live streams. And I make shorts out of them. So to all the new subscribers, welcome. If you hit that subscribe button, then you are one of the sovereign sisters. And if you want to ask questions or have chit chat in the chat, feel free with all the other lovely sovereign sisters. We always have a good time on the live stream there. Also, in my description in the bio here on YouTube, you can go to my link tree. You'll find all of my stuff there, my Patreon. I have one-on-one consultations. I also have a spiritual channel that you could check out as well here on YouTube. Um, so yeah, it's nice to be back. Yeah, I missed you all. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I know that there are a lot of women out there who are still dating, okay, especially the women who are younger, okay. Women that still have a lot of optimism about dating, or maybe they just want to get, the dating experience. So really the whole purpose of this video is to kind of reframe your mind of thinking on how to approach dating, how to approach men, so that way your heart doesn't keep getting broken. That way you don't keep getting disappointed. That way you aren't constantly having experiences with men where you need to heal from them or heal from something that they've done with you. Because a large reason as to why that keeps happening to you over and over is because you're approaching you're approaching dating wrong. You're approaching, not physically actually approaching, but your mindset on the projection that you have on what men are looking for is wrong. You don't know male nature well enough to be able to navigate the dating pool, how you need to at least have success. Even if you don't have success, meaning like getting what you want, the goal is always to just come out trauma free and drama free, right? That should always be your goal with dating. It's just to not have any pain infliction, right? That's really the whole purpose. Um, I suggest girls looking for a feminine, low effort job to get into being a flight attendant. It's not as easy, but still worth it. I know several people that are flight attendants, and it honestly makes sense as like a cute feminine job. You could travel, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So makes absolute complete, sense. So I want to start off by saying that, with with men, I think what happens is a lot of women get very frustrated because they're like, he played me, he ghosted me, he gaslit me, he breadcrumbed me, yada yada yada. And what'll happen is that like women will get upset at men when in reality all of these men are going to do this because men look at dealing with women like a game. The reason why a woman is always on the losing side of dynamics with men is because you're looking at them for love. You are approaching men as a source of love, and you're always going to have an unfavorable outcome when you are dealing with men out of love. You are looking at them for the source of love because they're not looking at you like that. They're not planning a date or getting on the dating apps thinking, I'm going to find the love of my life. I'm gonna find my wife on the dating app. I can't wait until I find someone to get married to. They are not thinking that. Okay. They are not thinking that. The only times that men are thinking about that is when their junk stops working, they get very sick, they're getting very old, and they've lost their looks and they can't attract anybody else. Those are really the only 3 times in a life of a man where he is actually going to be actively thinking, okay, I need to fall in love and pursue someone and kind of get this show on the road. Other than that, men are dealing with women really just to conquer. Okay. They are looking at you as something to conquer because it drives a man's validation to know that he has conquered something, that he has been able to control something, that he has been able to take something essentially. And so that gives a man a sense of power. And so you're over here on a date with a man and you're like, oh my God, he must like me. He must this, he must that. He's playing the game. Okay. He's telling you what it is that you need to hear so that way he can stay having access to you. I mean, do you really think you would be entertaining a man if he was like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't love you. I don't like you. I'm just saying everything I have to say so that I could sleep with you, so I can have sex with you. Like, I don't care about this date. I don't care about what it is that you have to say. I forgot what it is that you said, with the last two sentences. I'm over here thinking about other things. You know what I mean? I'm just doing what I got to do to get by so that way I can sleep with you and have access to you. Obviously, they're never going to admit that because that would deter you from ever wanting to deal with him. Okay. But secretly in their mind, that is what they're thinking. That is how they are approaching this whole dating thing because at the end of the day, they're not socialized the same way that you were socialized. Little boys aren't taught to find the love of their life. They're not watching Disney movies where, you know what I mean? They're not watching it regularly. You know what I mean? Their life is not built around the dream of having a marriage and falling in love and, them becoming someone's Prince Charming. They don't care about that stuff. Okay. Um, Queen, I have a man who's genuinely happy with me. Girl, I don't care if he's genuinely happy with you. Are you genuinely happy with him? And I made them in love. I know about the intimacy. Thank you. I made my first male friend today. He has other female friends more than men and not only attractive. Made me think there's some real men out there that humanize us. It's some. It's some. But honestly, I feel like this. You never really know until it's time to know. Um, and men can be very nice. I mean, men that aren't dumb are going to be nice because they still want to be in proximity to women. Um, only a dumb, idiotic man is just going to be outright mean to women, outright cruel to women, and then still complain about no woman is giving him attention. No woman wants to take him seriously. No woman wants to sleep with him. It's like you're not nice. You know what I mean? So I try not to give too much. I try not to give too many kudos to men who at least like are respectful because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, so I feel like honestly, when they're nice and when they're respectful, like, of course I appreciate it, but it's like, of course, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? I feel like giving men kudos for just being a nice, respectful person, like you shouldn't give them kudos for that, right? Because essentially what you're doing is you're reinforcing the bare minimum. You're reinforcing the bar being low because of all the horrible things that they do, all the horrible things that they say, and how evil they can be. That when congratulate them for just being a baseline, like that's baseline, right? That's baseline. You not being an asshole as a person is just baseline. You know what I mean? As women, we have to get out of that conditioning to be, clapping and giving a standing ovation to men that are being nice and not disrespecting you because that's a very low bar. A man really should be worshiping you. That's how it should go. You should never be impressed just because someone is being nice to you and treating you with regular human decency, right? Because that's just a low bar, right? And we're the value. And so, when it comes to, the dating game, essentially, a lot of women because women want connection so badly, it's very easy for them to fall into this trap of being like, oh, well, he was nice to me, he opened up the door for me, he did this, you know what I mean? A lot of men just want convenience when it comes to women, and so even if it means that they have to, be nice and kind of do whatever they have to do to have access to you, because that's another thing too. Men that want to have access to women, they're not going to be inherently mean. They're not going to be, really all that disrespectful, because you even having male friends, you're adding status to him. I don't think a lot of women realize that. Even if you're not sleeping with him, if you're going out with him, if you're listening to his problems, if you're hanging out with him, you're adding something to him. And a lot of the times, especially if you've had male friends like repeatedly, especially like I have, they get draining after a while. Especially once you really reinforce and you understand your worth and you understand how much you're enhancing his life and you really pay attention to it, you will actually start to realize that most men gain a lot more out of a dynamic when they are friends with a woman. They gain a lot more than what you gain. Like, are people going to look at you more when you're out in public with him? No, but everyone's going to be looking at him more when he's out in public with you. People are going to assume that you're his girlfriend. People are going to assume that you're his significant other. um he could be able to brag on you and say, oh yeah, like, that's my girlfriend, that's this, that's that. It's very easy for women to forget where their value lies because men don't tell y'all this, because if men tell y'all this, then you're gonna be like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna hang out with you. I'm not gonna go out in public with you or like do all of this stuff essentially. So I think it's just always important to, make sure that you just remember what your value is and understand that it not being tangible, because that's another thing too. Men only count things that are tangible, or they only outwardly count things that are tangible based off of them being physical, based off of them being something that you can quantify. In your aura, your energy, your beauty, your presence, you can't quantify that, right? There is no metric system to be able to quantify those things that you add because they are not tangible. So I feel as though that's very important when it comes to, your dynamics, and just make sure that, you're conscious of that, just to make sure that they're not draining your energy. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing too is, when it comes to dating dynamics too, I think like romance, um, romance is one thing. I really wish women would quit begging and asking men for romance. Okay. Um, romance is the acting that men have to do to sleep with you. Okay. Um, that's how they look at it. Men are not taught that like they should be romantic. They just understand, oh, women like it. And so essentially we just have to do it to impress them to get what we want. And then that's all we have to do. You know what I mean? They're not really looking at it something long term, because anyone that's been in a relationship with a man, how long does the romance last? You know what I mean? Like, he might have started out getting you flowers at the very beginning of the relationship. And then let's say maybe 3 to 6 months down the line, you're like, where the fuck are the roses? Like, what happened? What happened? What happened to the roses? Well, that's because he was just practicing romance. He was just acting. And once he felt like you were comfortable, and once he felt like, you know, once he felt like, okay, well, now I'm committed to her, now I'm in a relationship with her, she won't really need to ask me for any of those things because I'm in a relationship with her. You know what I mean? So a lot of women that, when you want to date these men and you're like, oh my God, I want roses and I want flowers. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you also need to understand that that's a part of the game, right? Romance is a part of the game. It's in the playbook, right? So if you want to be able to get roses and flowers and like get all that stuff, that's fine. Go on ahead, get it, enjoy getting it. Wonderful. But also kind of understand that like in most cases, this isn't going to be long term with this man, because he understands that he just is having to do what it is that he needs to do to get access, to you. I'm just going through the chat, y'all. You had said they see love and things as feminine, and as kids, their sensitivity is squashed, so they essentially have aversions to women because we are feminine. Yeah, because really, how men are taught to be men is just to not be women, right? That's how they're raised. So a lot of women get very confused about like why men actually don't really like women. Well, why would they like women when they're taught to hate everything that is regarding a woman because that's what makes them a man? Like, of course they're not going to like women. If everything that you're taught to not do is because a woman does it, then that means that you're not going to like women. Like, that's the reason why for a lot of women, your emotions, like the whole friendship thing, a lot of the time male friends, I don't if it can't be, if the emotional labor cannot be reciprocated equally, I don't have any sense or any point to be friends with a man. I just don't, because in most cases I understand that the pouring back into me is just not going to be reciprocal, because women have a much higher level of empathy. Women have a much higher emotional have much more emotional intelligence than men do. And so, a lot of the time if you talk to a man and you ask him for advice, he's not going to be like, oh, I see where you're coming from. I understand. That makes sense. One time I had a situation like, no, he's just going to go straight to solutions, no empathy. It's just going to be straight up solution mode. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm not saying that that's bad at all. And there's always a place for that, but it's just kind of like, yeah, if you're getting something out of it. You can get these human hair wigs from like OQ Hair. I think this one is by like Eunice. I don't know how the hell you spell it. Um, you can get the wigs from there. But when it comes to, you are so right. On the first hangout with this guy, he literally said, I can't wait till we get to the point where we don't have to do all this going out stuff and we can just chill. Exactly. Men don't like doing anything romantic. Like, they literally don't like doing anything romantic. This is why it's very important. Like, I have roses, I have 2 dozen roses sitting in my kitchen right now. I'm always going to do things for myself that I would require out of a man, because that's what you're supposed to do. Because what's going to happen is, if you don't do the things for yourself that you require out of a man, that means that he has the ability to be able to starve you, right? He has the ability to be able to starve you. So it's like, if the only time that you go out to dinner, the only time that you go outside, the only time that you go to events is when you're in a relationship, then that means that you're only going to have somewhat of a good life, if you're able to go out and that man wants to go out with you while you're in a relationship. Men never up the ante. Okay. Always remember that. Men never wake up one day and decide that they want to do more. Men do more and then reduce down the effort. They reduce down the effort. This is the reason why I will stay on it. As soon as something switch up, I stay on a man's heels. And once I see that he starts getting uncomfortable with me getting on his heels about things switching up, I break up with him. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Um, if a man, you have to ask yourself, everything that this man is doing for me, is it logical for us to do this 6 months from now, regularly, a year from now? If y'all are going out to eat once a week, if y'all are going out to eat once a week every week, that's realistic. You can go out to eat once a week every week and y'all ain't got no kids. That's realistic. If a man starts out taking you out once a week every week, and then what will be the reduction from that? That means y'all gonna always be in the house. Y'all, it's gonna go from 1 week to 2 weeks. And then y'all go out once every month. And then if this is happening before kids, y'all are never going out. For a lot of men, getting in a relationship with a woman is cost effective. Okay, for a lot of men, they are thinking about it logistically. That's the reason why I made that video saying that most wives are just low rate S workers. Okay. Um, that's why they say it's cheaper to keep her. Most wives are just an inexpensive way to be able to have access to a woman regularly because it's like men are lazy. Okay. Men want the least path of resistance. Men don't want to constantly go out and have to hunt to sleep with someone all the time. Men don't want to go. This is why they're getting so stingy with the dates. They're getting so stingy with the dates because they don't want to have 3 dates in a row and they have to take a girl to a different restaurant, 3 times, and then they don't know if the girl's gonna like him or he's gonna like her. It gets expensive. And these men are average men. You know what I mean? Like these are average men we're talking about. The man's a generous salary annually that a man is making is like $60,000. Okay. And like we're in a baddie inflation right now. The women are looking beautiful. The women are looking beautiful. So, women are able to have more access to men just being a lot more generous. And so it's just kind of like, when you're looking good, things should match. You know what I mean? It should match with what your experience is going to be. And so essentially how men think, they think of it like, well, she looks cheap. She looks like she's easy to impress. So let me go on ahead and just get in a relationship with her and it'll be cheap. And then guess what? Because she's so easy to impress, I'll just save up all my money. And then I'll use the money that I'm saving up because she's so cheap and she's so easy to impress. Well, then I will just go on ahead and I will get me a little woman on the side or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how they're thinking. So you really shouldn't, whatever bar it gets set at the beginning, you pretty much 90% of the time, you should expect for that bar to get lower. Okay. Cause it ain't going to get any higher. Right. So whatever you start out with, don't think you're going to wake up magically and be like, oh, it's time. I'm going to start taking her out to nicer restaurants. I'm going to keep trying to impress her. Men are never really going to, men don't think that way. Men don't sit here and think, I want to impress her more. I want to impress her more. Most men do not think like that. Men are never, uh, the thing about it is that, with women, you looking expensive is a great deterrent. It's a great deterrent because men only think of money. That's all they think of. So if you're a woman that's like, oh, they don't want to approach me, that's good. That means that you're not going to be with some cheap rate. Um, you're not going to be with some cheap rate man. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. This is why as a woman, you need to make sure that you're giving yourself experiences. This is the reason why men don't want you to make a whole lot of money. Men don't want you making a whole lot of money because they want to be able to impress you for cheap. I talked about it on TikTok live because I did go live on TikTok earlier today. And I had a woman I was taking care of earlier. And so she was pretty much telling me, she's like, oh yeah, she's like the man that's out, in the front. She was like, he's in the middle of getting a divorce and I'm the other woman. And like, he just gives me his credit card. And like, he bought his ex-wife like a BMW and then he gave her like her Cadillac or whatever. And so I was like, good, take the money and invest it, like do something with the investment money or whatever. And so she was asking me like, how did I get into what my profession is and yada yada yada. And then I told her how much I make. I told her how much I make per week. And she was like, you make that per week? And I said, yeah, I make that per week. And she was like, that's what I make in a month that you're making in a week. And I said, exactly. So I said, do you really think a used Cadillac is going to impress me? Do you really think some man giving me a credit card when I have an Amex card is going to impress me? Do you think me living in a high rise in Chicago, like, do you think like in me traveling all over the place, like, do you think that like an average man is going to impress me? No. So that's the reason why men really don't want you to achieve to make any money. They don't want you to be educated. They don't want you to be striving because essentially an average men want a chance, right? Average men, they want you to be destitute. They want you to be broke. That way you're impressed with their little $60,000 a year that they're making. And $60,000 a year is nothing, right? $60,000 a year is destitute. I'm sorry. Especially in this economy, it's fucking destitute. Even $100,000 a year, destitute, right? And then if you have kids, that's like homeless, right? So that's the reason why they don't want you to have any money because they're destitute, right? Most men that you're gonna run into are broke. When women are saying, "Oh, he takes care of me. Oh, he takes care of me. He bought me this. He bought me that. He bought me a car." He got her a used car, right? They went to a used lot, and they got them, like, he got her like a $10,000 car. You know what I mean? The apartment. He most likely got her an apartment in a somewhat kind of decent place. You know what I mean? We're not talking about he got me a car and he got me a Mercedes. He put me up in a penthouse. He put me up in a high rise. We're most women are not having these experiences. I'm just telling you this. They're not having these experiences. It's very easy to impress a waitress, or what I mean, and even not even a waitress, because depending on where she works, I know waitresses that make hourly, what I make with my degree. You know what I mean? They don't make it regularly, but they're able to make $40, $50 an hour, with them being a waitress. So it makes it harder for men to impress you when you have your own money and you're using that money, and it's very obvious that you have money, because that's the only way that men think. Men are always thinking in terms of finances and money, which is crazy, because it's like, if you're only thinking in terms of finances, then why aren't you rich? If all you're thinking about is money, then how come those thoughts can't teach you how to pick up another skill, pick up a trade, be a business owner, learn how to invest your money, like high yield savings accounts, stocks, bonds, home investment, renting out your car? Like, uh, money is everywhere. You know what I mean? There's really there's no excuse for a man to be broke. There's no excuse for a man to be broke. There's just not. The money is fucking everywhere. The money is absolutely everywhere. Also, why there are guys that aren't impressed by a woman who travels. Exactly. And it's not, the thing about it is that the men are impressed. When men say that they aren't impressed, just remove improve aren't impressed, am not impressed with, I'm jealous. That's what that's code for. When men say they aren't impressed with your degree, I'm jealous of your degree. When they say I'm not impressed by your traveling, I'm jealous of the fact that you can travel. You will never attract what you are, because men and women are not the same. True fucking story. True fucking story. You can't. Men are not creators. Men don't have life force energy. So you cannot attract you can't attract what you are in a man. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. You can only really, it should just be an addition. If a man can't be an addition to you in a positive way, well, then there's no need for him. Yeah, actually, my ex told me that it was getting too expensive to be with me and it not lead to anything. Oh, and he also talked about how I dress. Maybe he thought I was easy to impress. Probably. Or men going out of their price bracket. That would happen to me a lot. Men would they would start out in a sprint. So what they would do, they would get in the race, they would play the game, and they start playing the game sprinting, right? Buying me everything, buying me, I mean, everything, trips and gifts and this and that. And then eventually I'm like, Did your pockets lose weight? Is the wallet on Ozempic? What is happening? Where are the funds? Where are the gifts? What happened? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, my money's a little tight right now, and things are coming. Okay, well, that's just code for you didn't have it in the first place, right? You didn't have it in the first place. Pockets is on Ozempic. Exactly. I've never had a man be jealous of me traveling or anything. I think it's very important if you're going to be out in these dating streets. You need to date a man who is cultured. I don't date men that haven't traveled internationally. I don't date men that, don't have like a business or some type of investment or things like that. You know, at least get you a man that actually is cultured. Pygmisha don't ever want to do that because Pygmisha will just take anything. Pygmisha will take a Dusty because she doesn't want to be alone. So she'll just take any old type of thing that's there because, she wants to sleep. She's too she gets, scared. She thinks the boogeyman's gonna come out if she doesn't have a man up under her. So Queen, what if they say I can't meet your needs? Well, then that's good. Then you move on. You go find someone else. If someone can't meet your needs, deal with someone that can meet your needs. Be single. Be single until someone can meet your needs. It's very simple. We got a Dusty in the comments, y'all. He said, "You women don't have a fixed price. It changes depending on your attraction level to the guy. One guy can take you to McDonald's, and another guy has to take you to five-star restaurants." Listen, if you deal with a woman who's never been to a five-star restaurant and she wants to go to a five-star restaurant, she's going to ask the guy that's in front of her to go to the five-star restaurant. If she's in a point in her life where she wants McDonald's and McDonald's is what she feels like she's worthy of, she's gonna ask the guy in front of her to go take her to McDonald's. It's very fucking simple. Y'all make things way too complicated. Y'all take things way too personal. You think I mean, come on. Are you treating every single woman in your life the same? No. Come on. There's some women that you sleep with, and then there's some women that you get in a relationship with, and then there's some women that you decide to marry. You can't marry every woman that you date. You can't be in a relationship with every woman that you date. Like, come on, like grow up. That's always that self-loathing speak. Like, oh, I had to pay more money in order to be with her. No, you didn't. All you had to do was say no. Did anyone force your hand? Did anyone force your hand? No, no one forced you. You men just figure, oh, if I do a five-star restaurant, she'll sleep with me. Oh, she didn't sleep with me. Well, now I'm jealous because there's a guy that I know from 3 years ago. He didn't have to spend any money on her and he got to sleep with her. And I had to pay for a five-star restaurant. No, you didn't. You chose to. That's your fault. If you don't want to spend the money, don't spend the money. Very simple. If you want a guaranteed transaction, that's what an S worker is for. I told y'all to get y'all Swiffer sweepers ready. I told y'all this in the community post because I started posting shorts. I started posting shorts, and y'all know that I normally do live streams, right? And I told y'all this. Shorts in the very short form content, it's going to attract more people that have, they may not have a higher intellect. They may not be a very strong thinker because you have most people that listen to long form content, most people that listen to podcasts and things like that, those people tend to be very productive because the whole reason why I do long form content is because I want you to listen to this when you're cleaning your house. I want you to listen to this when you're working out. I want you to listen to this when you're driving to work. I want you to be able to, get out of your goddamn ADHD brain and actually not, be where you got to scroll to the next thing, watch the next thing because you're so dopamine addicted. So that's the reason why I do the live stream content, because it attracts more viewers who have a higher intellect, who are able to have a broader, type of thinking. So I told y'all that this was going to happen because, I posted shorts and that brought some pea brain people up in here. Men have fixed mindsets. How the fuck does something from years ago have to do with today? It goes back to what I said. All men care about is money. All men care about is money. All men care about is how much money they have to spend, but they never care about how much money they make. You wouldn't care about a five-star restaurant if you were making $300,000 a year. The reason why you're upset that you spend money on a five-star restaurant is because you don't have five-star restaurant money. So men take it as a higher perceived loss because you don't see a loss in something when you have money and the money is rolling in and you're going to get the money back. Only broke men think like that. Men that get upset that, oh well, he slept with her and he didn't have to pay anything, they're broke, they're in survival mode, they have a scarcity mindset, they don't have an abundance mindset, they don't know when they're going to run across another woman that likes them, they don't know when a woman is going to be attracted to them again. So they're upset because a man that naturally has pull, a man that is more attractive, a man that's charismatic, guess what, it's called natural selection. That's what that's called. The man that didn't have to pay any money, the man that didn't have to do anything to get access to a woman, yeah, that's called natural selection, right? Because he might look better than you, he might be taller than you, he may have more money than you. And so that's the reason why he didn't have to pay into that. He didn't have to buy into that. That's just the breaks. That's just how it goes. I don't make the rules. I told y'all the Dusties were going to be up in here. It's Friday night. They ain't got no date. They haven't they keeps they on the dating app swiping right, swiping right, swiping right, swiping right, and ain't nobody swiping right on them. It's a Friday night. Are y'all getting ready for y'all dates or no? But back to what I was saying. Um, you know, it's a game. This is all a game for men, right? This is all a game for men. Men want to be able to use your emotions as leverage. This is why it's very important that you don't get impressed. When you're easily impressed, oh, he opened up the door for me. Oh my God, he picked me up. Oh my God, he took me to a nice restaurant. You're already emotional. You're already emotional. So it's going to be very easy for men to play you. It's going to be very easy to manipulate you. It's going to be very easy for men to run game on you because your emotions are already tapped into something that is bare minimum, below bare minimum. And this is how men leverage to have control over you. Men understand that women are emotional. And so men understand, if I get her in her emotions, if I have this persona, if I can be this actor, if I can get her to open up, if I can get her to, expose all these things about herself, then that will give me leverage, and then I'll be able to play that to my benefit. I will be able to weaponize the information that she gives me, right? And so what'll happen is that you, as a woman, you will start emotionally investing in a man, right? And the thing about it is that, y'all will go on a date and you'll be like, oh my God, I think he's my husband. You know what I mean? And he's like, I'm one date closer to hitting, I'm one date closer to smashing. And you're over here talking about what your wedding dress is gonna look like, how many kids y'all are gonna have, what the house is gonna look like. I mean, just absolute nonsense. You know what I mean? Men aren't thinking like this. Men don't care about that stuff. Men don't talk in groups with other men and say, oh yeah, y'all, you're gonna be my groomsmen and you're gonna be in the wedding and yada yada yada. And this is the song we're gonna have. They're not having those conversations. They're not having these conversations regarding fantasy of the future and things like that. Men don't care about that. Men don't even want to be committed. Can't get no coochie out the queen. Is it because they don't want the responsibility of having a better job? This dude was fine working for Amazon, delivering 300 to 400 packages a day when he has a degree. He said it's easy. Listen to this, y'all. There's a man I know. Good job. He's in a administrative role in education. I asked him, I said, if there's any job that you could have, what would you do? He said he would be a janitor. He has a degree. He said he would be a janitor. Now, for financial reasons, is he going to decide to be a janitor? Hell no. But he literally said that he would prefer to be a janitor because he doesn't want to talk to anybody. Um, Men are antisocial. I don't know if y'all have noticed that. Men are very antisocial. Men have a very hard issue with socializing with people, and so it can be a lot for them to actually have a job that requires them to perform and be high functioning, because men are not naturally high functioning. It requires a lot out of them to actually be high functioning. They're really not all that bright. A lot of y'all fantasize and give men way too much credit than they deserve. They're really not all that bright. And once you really start paying attention and you start having, because the thing about it is that when women say, oh, I have an intellectual conversation with a man, I guarantee you the conversation isn't intellectual at all. Any woman that says that she's having an intellectual conversation with a woman, it's not intellectual at all. I'm telling you, I already know. Whenever I hear a woman say that, I'm like, no. What if a guy tells you that he'll still smash you even when you get married? What's your response? Okay, what's the price? What's the price gonna be? What's the price gonna be? Yeah, what I mean, what's the price gonna be? They won't want to have that conversation. They won't want to bring that up again. What do you mean? What do you mean what the price is gonna be? Yeah, what's the price gonna be? You said that you would want to do it even if I'm married. I'd be like, okay, and then my husband will be right there watching. So let me know when you're ready. I'll let my husband know. When women So the thing about it too with the game, with the dating game, to all of you women who are optimistic dating, um, I feel like for a lot of women, y'all will get so upset because y'all got ghosted. So even like on the dating apps, right? So I haven't used the dating apps in like 2 years, but I started using the dating apps in like 2015. I used the dating apps long ago. And whenever men would like start acting funny, I've always had zero tolerance for that. Because I don't make emotional investments into most people. Um, as a woman, if you're dating, your emotions, you have to gatekeep your emotions. As a woman, the number one thing that's going to always have you fail with men is your emotions. You caring, you having an outcome for you having an outcome for every single interaction that you have with the man. Like, as a woman, men want you more than you want them, right? So if I take a whole calendar year and I go on a date with 20 men, and before every date, I'm praying to God, hoping that he's my husband, you're going to get disappointed 20 fucking times. You're going to get disappointed 20 fucking times because that's not your husband. He most likely is not going to be your husband. So quit having all these expectations as to what the encounter is going to be like. You know how many dates I've went on and the date turned into a guy that I would hang out with. He was like him and I were both foodies. He would hit me up and be like, "Hey, when are you free next? I'm free on this day. Oh, you want to try this new restaurant?" Yeah. He would pay for the meal. Nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. And we would do this regularly. Met him on an app. There was another guy that I met on an app. Oh, he had invited me out. I became cool with his friends. I went on a couple trips with like him and his friends or whatever. Nothing happened. Nothing happened at all because I had no expectation. You know, I was able to still get experiences from men and with men without having to be like, oh my God, you're not going to be my husband, so I'm not going to talk to you. Who cares? Who cares? You know, get experiences. Stop thinking that every man that you're going to meet, that you're going to deal with is going to be your husband. Stop. You're emotionally investing way too much. And then guess what? You're going to be disappointed every single time. You are going to be disappointed every single time. And also, a lot of women don't realize is that men can smell it on you. Even if you don't say that you want to get married, men can smell it on you when you're desperate for attention, you're desperate for the ring, you're desperate for a connection. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to be desperate. They're looking for you to like really want a man, okay? Because they understand that when you come off that desperate, it's easier to use you. How do we actually date then? I noticed these past few guys already think we're in a relationship the first time we hang out. Where's the relationship money? If they're not thinking anything, if there is no relationship money, where are the relationship resources? I don't care if they're saying I love you. I don't care if they're saying I want you to be my wife. I don't care if they're saying I want you to meet my mom. That's all child's play. Okay. We're always remember when you're dating and you're dealing with men, their words are child's play. Okay. Their words mean nothing. I don't care if you're texting them every day. I don't care if they're sending you love songs. I don't care what the hell they're doing. Where are the resources? Where's the money? Where's the experiences? That's it. That's all. I was just using this man, and the more of a bitch I acted, the more he wanted to be around. So I literally told him that he's my soulmate and I'm in love with him. That man ran so fast, and as he should. I'm sorry, when it just happened to this girl that I know. She started professing all of her feelings for this guy and how much she liked him and how much. First of all, she never met the man. Let's start there. They've been in a whole parasocial relationship for a year. She's never physically met this man, and she poured out all her feelings. Y'all don't realize how crazy y'all sound. Now, obviously, this sounded like a social experiment, is what it sounded like. Yeah, that's why she said mission complete. Another thing, too, when y'all are dating, do it as a social experiment. Get a roster. Like, this is how you play the game. You have fun with it. Y'all take dating way too seriously because y'all want to get picked so bad. Your hopes, your dreams, your existence is being based off of a man picking you. And this is why y'all lose the game every single time with men, because it's a game. Games require strategy. Games require for you to not have an emotion, because if you have an emotion, you're going to be scared if you lose. What if I lose? What if they beat me? Yada, yada, yada. What if I don't win? Yada, yada, yada. No, you got to get to the root of the strategy and figure out different ways that you can play the game and how the outcomes come out. And then going ahead and, do trial and error. Okay, this worked. This didn't work. That man blocked her ass as soon as she started professing how she liked him. I was like, oh, what happened to you and so and so? Oh, girl, he blocked me. Well, what happened? I poured out my feelings and I told him how much I liked him. Men don't like it when y'all like them. I'm going to say it again. Men don't like it when y'all like them. That's why I have a video. That's why I have a live stream that literally is titled Men Like You Most When You Don't Like Them. Because it's how it works. That's the game. That's the game. If there's any piece of this video that you should not forget, it's the fact that men like you more when you don't like them. Like, imagine if someone only talked to you for 2 days and he's like, oh my God, like, you're pick Misha when you're easily impressed when a guy is saying how much he likes you and y'all have barely spent any time with each other, or he's saying I love you very early on, right? That's creepy. Like, that's very, very creepy. That would make anyone feel uncomfortable. So, of course, you're going to run them off every time. Right. Falling in love with the damn screen. I'm like, how did you fall in love with the man that you never met? Like, Zaddy GPT. If a guy is helping you financially, but he mentioned about him moving in, his ex will move in with him, and possibly she's going to want schmecks from him while living with him, would you say dealing with him financially? Yeah. As long as the money is still coming, as long as you're still getting money, who cares? That's even better for you. That means you ain't got to see him as much. That means you ain't got to sleep with him. She's sleeping with him. That's a match. That's perfect. That's perfect. You mean he could give me money and he doesn't have to ask me for schmecks because he's getting it from somewhere else? The dream. It's a shame that's how it is, but they love bitches. If we're too nice, they don't believe it or we get used. Yes, because men, the reason why men are so sassy is because women don't require men to work anymore. Women have ruined the game. And the reason why is because the internet, because women are so afraid to get shamed by men. Women are afraid to get called a 304. Women are afraid to get called all of these profanities by men. And so, because you see it more often now on the internet, you can't just deal with it when you're at school. You can't just deal with it when you're walking. You got to see it on the internet. It's made women be more submissive to want to do things to, not have to deal with like the names and the shame that comes across with men. And the issue with that is that y'all have made things way you've made the thing about it is that women have created these super soft men. Point blank period. They've created these super soft men. And so now these men have gotten lazy because Pygmesia done made these men super lazy. And so now they don't want to work for anything. The nature of a man, he's supposed to be working for your affection. He's supposed to be working. The number one thing as a woman that you should be putting in a man is fear. Y'all don't put any fear into these men. Y'all will sit here and beg and beg and beg. When is he gonna marry me? Let's go shop for rings. Oh my God, give me a ring, even if it's $100, please. Who would want that? Who would want that? That's pathetic. That's low rate. That's cheap. Like, just thinking of that, I'm filled with disgust. I'm filled with disgust just thinking of that. Because no, a man should fear you. And when I say fear, I don't mean in like a physical aspect. I mean in a sense of he should not know 100% where he stands with you. When you are begging for a ring, when you're begging to get taken out, when you're begging for commitment and you're in these situationships, he already knows where he stands with you. He he already knows, well, she ain't gonna leave. She begging me for the ring. She ain't going nowhere. You become very predictable. And then you get cheated on. You get cheated on because you've already proved to him she's obsessed with me. She's not leaving. So I could cheat. I could disrespect her. I could use her money. I could walk all over her. I could make her a doormat because you don't have any fear in him. He doesn't question if you're going to leave. He doesn't question if you're going to kick him out. He doesn't question if he's not going to hear from you again. He doesn't question any of those things because you haven't created any sense of fear of him having access to you. Exactly. Men believe they need to earn things. If you don't make them earn things, if you don't learn how to limit your accessibility to men, you're always going to lose the game. Dating is not going to be fun for you. And if you're a woman that's like, this is too much, this is too many games, I can't do this. I'm a nice girl, I'm a lover girl. Well then girl, you then quit. I wouldn't be dating then. Because these men out here, baby, they're breaking hearts for sport. Okay. These men out here hate women. And they ain't shy about it either. These men out here hate women. So they'll take you out on a date just to ask you to pay 50-50. They'll take you out on a date just to embarrass you. Yeah, you put a mirror up to him. He didn't like the mirror. That's how you play the game. When they start acting out hot and cold, you act hot and cold. He realized, oh shit, I can't manipulate her. She can play the game just like I can play the game. Playing the game is essential to not having your time be wasted. I mean, point blank, period. You could say whatever people could say whatever they want to say about it, but that's not right and that's immoral and I can't do that. Okay, but this was how the world was created. This was how the world was created. The world is nothing but games. When you're at work and you're fighting for a promotion, and it's someone at your job that's also trying to get promoted, y'all are fighting for the same position. They're playing the game to get the promotion. They're getting buddy buddy with their boss. They're getting buddy buddy with that person's boss. They're getting buddy buddy with all of y'all's colleagues. That way they can get referrals from them. That way they can get the people that y'all work with to go back and tell the boss, yeah, you need to promote so and so. Life is a game. So you go them going hot and cold, and then you deciding to go hot and cold. That's a part of the game. And you really do vet out men that would waste your time otherwise when you do that. Because see, a weak-minded woman, what hot and cold will do to her, she'll be all in her feelings. Oh my god, he didn't text me. Oh my god, he didn't text me. And so then she gonna sit here and she gonna call up all her friends. Oh my god, Clarence didn't text me today. What did I do wrong? What she gonna go through all her text messages and reread all her text messages and be like, what did I say? What did I say wrong? And then she gonna text him and be like, Clarence, are you there? What did I do? Are you busy? Is it everything okay? And then he'll text her back 2 days later and be like, hey, how are you? He gonna act like nothing happened. He gonna text you like he didn't ghost you for 48 hours. And if you're weak minded, and if you're pygmesia, and if you don't have any boundaries, and if you allow disrespect, you'll just let that shit go unchecked. You won't even say anything about it, or you will say something about it, and then he won't validate what it is that you're saying. He'll be very dismissive, and then you still continue to talk to him. Weak. Clarence, that's where you went wrong dating someone with that name, right? That's why I used it. Listen, Clarence has no choice but to play the game. His name already Clarence. So just imagine how he look. Exactly. I just delete their number if they do that. I'm with you. That behavior gets them cut off blocked. Facts, because no one has time for that. We not doing these emotional roller coasters. This is I remind these men all the time, bitch, this is not Six Flags. We ain't going on no emotional roller coasters. That manipulation shit is not working over here. That manipulation, it's never working over here. It's not. It was crazy because he would pay and buy me stuff and still be weird. Exactly. Because I've said it before. I said it on TikTok. Money cannot unlame you. Okay. A lot of men that have money, this is the thing, a lot of men that have money, they still don't know how to play the game. They still don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to be smooth. They don't know how to be seductive. Um, you know, they don't know how to act. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like a man, the man that you're talking about, he learned that from a book. Okay, that's why it's all discombobulated. That's why it's not seamless. That's why it's not smooth. He bought one of them pickup artist books and he's just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. Dang, so you won't be mad at all knowing that his ex is living with him and most likely effing him. Whoa. Yes, because why would you care if he's giving you money? Like y'all be too focused on the wrong thing. This is why I'm making this video. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. Get the emotions out. Like we're going to do spell work. Get the emotions out. Get the emotions out. Emotions don't exist. Emotions don't exist. You can't control a person. You can't control a person. Get what you can get and let it be. Let it be while he's sleeping with her. You could be using the money that he's giving you to start a business. Invest that money into something. Get a game plan for yourself. Like there's a lot of things as a woman that you can do to keep yourself busy. He's going to be keeping himself busy in some coochie. Keep yourself busy doing something else. Get the money and keep yourself busy. Yeah, get that money. Listen, a woman that is keeping a man busy while that same man is giving you money is a gift. It is a gift because that means that requires less work and less energy. The whole purpose of this, y'all want to do too much work. This is the issue. Y'all want to do too much work. Y'all want to get money and give all your energy and give all your time and give all your feelings. Y'all don't have to do that. That's not a requirement. That's not a requirement. You don't have to do all of that. Someone else can do all of the dirty work. Have them do all of the dirty. It's like an assistant. It's like an assistant. Celebrities don't sit here and call all of the managers, for the places that they got to deal with a promotion deal with. They don't sit here and make all those phone calls. They have a personal assistant to do that. Celebrities don't sit here and style all their clothes and pick out all their clothes. They get a stylist to do that, right? You have an unpaid or you are getting paid and he did the work for you. He hired himself a free S worker, his ex-girlfriend. So what if I stop sleeping with him suddenly? LOL, sorry, TMI. You think the money will still come, right? It should. It should. And guess what? Just be busy. Just start making up excuses. Be like, oh, you wanna know what? I'm busy, I'm busy working or whatever. And guess what? If he get even busier if he doesn't want to give you any money anymore. Well, you know what? Now that you're not giving me any money anymore, I gotta pick up another shift at work. I gotta work overnight. I gotta pick up a second job. I'm busy. Yeah, because he's going to be occupied. So, like, legit, start getting busy in the time that he's going to be occupied. I haven't heard from you. I know you're with your ex or whatever. Because the thing about it is that he's also going to assume that he will have the same level of accessibility to you, which means that essentially he's going to have you on call, or he will want you to be on call. Yeah, just get the money. A bum can be wealthy too. It's not about money. Too many emotions involved. Y'all have to learn to let go. Yeah, life is just easier when you become indifferent. Um, you have to learn how to become indifferent when you're dealing with men. Okay. At the end of the day, men are always going to make a decision based off of what their needs are that they want to get met at that moment. That's just that's just how it is. If they wake up and they decide, hey, I don't want to be married anymore, they won't be married anymore. If they decide that they want to go cheat that night, they're gonna go cheat that night. Like, men are gonna do whatever they want to do. So it's best that you just remove your emotions from what their actions are. And if that's too much for you, you shouldn't deal with them. I miss gatekeeping you from the men, the dusty dudes mad at your vids and not really hearing you. Well, someone said earlier in the chat that Anton Daniels actually didn't even disagree. He didn't even disagree with what I said with the S work video. Cause see, I don't watch any of them because there was someone else that reacted to one of my videos. But yeah, I guess Anton Daniels didn't even disagree with me. The men never disagree with me. That's the thing. I'm very logical. I'm very, very logical. I'm more logical than men. I'm way more logical than men. So they're never ever going to say that I'm wrong. They're just going to say whatever they have to say to fit the narrative for their audience. Because the thing about it is that one thing that they can't get mad at is that I'm never going to tell a woman to sit here and try to change a man's nature. Men are going to be who they're going to be. Either you're going to sign up to deal with their nature, or you're just not going to deal with them, or you're going to have a life full of struggle trying to get them to become people that they're not meant to be. I mean, it's very simple. Yeah, ENTJ girl. Yeah, those emotions aren't gonna listen. Emotions aren't gonna make you money, right? What are emotions going to do for you? The reason why women are filled with so much emotion and they care a lot about their emotion is because most women are void in certain areas when it comes to emotion. You don't men are not the source of love. They're not the source of love. Literally, you can get an animal for that, right? You might have a niece or a nephew or someone, you can go to them for that, right? We're gonna on the spiritual channel, we're gonna talk about quantum leaping. We're gonna talk about quantum leaping on the spiritual channel this weekend. um Really, quantum leaping is just matching your frequency of being. um Really, the thing is just already matching what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to become. Because in order for you to be able to quantum leap, it's simple physics, right? The frequency has to match in order for you to leap. So if you're vibrating from a frequency of like fear, right? Because you want to like be an entrepreneur or you want to be a business owner. Well, you're not going to match your frequency because you don't have enough belief and acceptance that like you are an entrepreneur. You are a business owner. And so like giving you all like kind of like I do want to start doing more I kind of want to get into like activations over on the spiritual channel. So I need to like find like frequency beats and things like that. I want to get into more activation things. So it probably won't be like a whole lot of like live streams anymore over there. I'm still going to live stream on there, but I want to do like more activation stuff. I want to do like subliminals and things like that. I literally have a list. Like I have a list of things that I have for the spiritual channel. I have so much. I have so much planned for the channel. It's ridiculous. Why do men cry and scream after they get caught cheating? Girl, they want you to feel bad for them. They want to turn into a woman. You ever notice that men demonize everything that women do, but then when it's time for them to take accountability, they want to turn into a woman. So whenever they say women are crazy, women are crazy. And then when they pew pew up a school, when they harm someone, when they hurt someone, what's the first thing they want to claim? Oh, mentally unstable, crazy, clinically insane. To avoid accountability, the first thing they want to do is to revert to the very same thing that they shame women for. And so when they don't want to take accountability for cheating, they want to call you weak for crying. They want to call you weak for showing emotion and calling us the emotional gender. But as soon as they get caught doing something, they want to cry. They want to do all these things. They want to scream and they want to turn real emotional when they get caught doing something. That's why everything that they say is disingenuous. That's why everything that they say is fake as hell. And that's why I don't listen to anything that they say because they go back and forth on what it is that they want to weaponize against to make it convenient for them. Thanks, Queen. Your spiritual channel is the best. Thank you. Yeah, that's all men want to do. They'll talk shit about women being emotional, and then the second they don't get their way, they all of a sudden want to use their emotions to try to get their way. This is the reason why when they're like, "Oh, women are so manipulative," and they are too. They are too. They're literally going to take the very same things that they demonize and try to use that to make you feel bad for them. I do not feel bad for them at all whatsoever. I do not feel bad for them. Just like I don't feel bad for Pygmisha. I don't feel bad for Pygmisha and them because the signs are there. Right? I kind of feel like with all the social media, with all the content out there, if you want to be Pygmisha, with all the information that's out there with how these men are moving, what these men are doing, their nature being exposed, how they operate, listen, be my guest. Anton's reaction to you just reinforced that men know the kind of how they put women through, but they're just trying to reframe it as if putting women through hell should be rewarding for us, while at the same time telling you that you shouldn't be masculine. You see how that makes no sense? You see how that makes no sense? The men will sit here and tell you, I don't want a masculine woman. I don't want a masculine woman. And then require you to do everything fucking masculine, put you through hell, make your life harder. That's masculine. And then question and wonder, well, why are they so masculine? And we keep trying to tell these fools, uh, how am I going to be feminine when you want me to work a 40-hour a week job? You want me to cook, you want me to clean, you want me to take care of the children, and you want me to sleep with you, and you want me to keep my looks up, and you want me to do it with a smile on my face. When in reality, all that they have to do, they're expected to do is go to work and come the fuck home and sit back and be feminine. It's their soft, be, get the soft life, essentially. Get the soft life. That's all masculine. Having to do all that stuff is masculine. No. Like, no, you can shame me all day for not wanting to be masculine if I'm with a man. Like, if it's just me, of course I'm going to be masculine. You have no choice but to be masculine. We live in a patriarchy. How can women be feminine in a patriarchy? You have to go to work, you have to make money, you most likely have to work hours that don't sync with your rhythm, your cycle as a woman. Like, there's only so much that you really can do, without requiring being in a masculine, living in a patriarchal society. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That makes zero sense. We still have to go to work, we still have to make money. Everyone in a capitalistic system has no choice but to fucking be masculine. We live in a patriarchy. Like, make it make sense. Hold on. Hold on. My Hold on, let me make sure my mic is on because it disconnected it. Okay, yeah, my mic still works. Been hearing some opinions about birth control being the reason we got here as women. Any thoughts on this? Birth control has been proven to make women be more attracted to men. Once women get off birth control, it's been shown through studies that they tend to not be attracted to their partners as much. So yeah, I never took birth control. I knew that shit was a scam. I knew. Number two, I never had an issue where birth control was required. I had acne, and my dermatologist had offered to put me on birth control for my acne. I told her ass no, no. So yeah, I feel like birth control, honestly, I feel like birth control was like another way for women to feel more comfortable giving average men a chance. That's just my theory. Since it has been proven to make your attractability to men much easier. Exactly. Birth control makes them more attracted to beta men. Exactly. We are naturally balanced in femininity and masculinity. Taking care of everything on our own can sometimes breed uncertainties within our demeanors, making us more masculine at times as well as fem. Exactly. You're supposed to be a balance of masculine and feminine. Okay, you're not, as a woman. You're not supposed to be 100% feminine. Okay, you're not. You're not supposed to be 100% feminine and then add the masculine to you. That's not how that works. You must have the masculine and the feminine. If you operate being 100% feminine, you're going to be a doormat. You're going to be abused. You're going to be looked over. You're not going to have as much of achievement. You have to have the masculine, right? That's the reason why men were created in the first place, right? Because women are creatives, and so essentially men were really, the masculine was really created to kind of shed light on the creative in a physical manner, right? So as one whole unit, you have to have both. This is the reason why men are not going to be in alignment with most women, because men don't want to take on the feminine. Like, listen to this. So I talked about on the spiritual channel, I talked about, the plant, the MJ. I'm just going to call it the MJ. I have a video on the spiritual channel talking about the MJ. And I had a patient today. Y'all, my patient had a whole ass titty. My male patient had a whole ass titty today. And I know he was lying, because I asked him, I said, do you smoke the MJ, or, are you on any type of like medication? And he said he was, on, medication for hypertension. So I knew that wasn't causing his, you know, titty to grow. And so essentially what happens is that when men smoke the MJ, they can get something called gynecomastia. And essentially it's breast tissue, because the MJ is feminine. Men like the MJ because it is a form of them taking in the feminine. And what happens is that it literally can feminize them by having them grow breast tissue. And like literally it was like he had like a B cup. I was like, oh my God, like he literally had a titty. He literally had a titty. Yeah, steroids can too. So yeah, when men take in the feminine in that way, it really does, like, it actually can feminize them. But I was laughing at him. He said he was so embarrassed. He's like, I can't wait to get this removed. I can't wait to get this removed. And I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I'll probably go. My seat's probably already warmed up for hell, but I couldn't stop laughing. I know, I couldn't stop laughing. And then also Mercury is in Taurus. Mercury is in Taurus. Did anyone have anyone get spicy with them today? Did anyone have anyone get fresh with them today? Was anyone very provoking today? That I knew the Dusties were going to come out today because Mercury is in Taurus. And it's been a very long time since I had someone get fresh with me. And today someone got fresh with me at work. I was like, oh yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Y'all trying to provoke. Y'all trying to provoke a sister, I see. Yeah, that passive aggressiveness. Yeah, that's what I had earlier today. I was like, what the hell? People were only online. Folks do seem extra frisky lately. Yeah, Mercury will be in Taurus until the 15th. And girl, it's them chicken wings. These men are eating all these chicken wings and doing all this craziness, child. Before we know it, 10 years from now, if we stay on the same trajectory, these men are going to be wearing training bras and they're going to have dump trucks before we know it. I have I have some water like that, and yeah, a woman had touched me earlier, and I was like, "Do not touch me! Like, what the hell did you think this was?" Exactly. They want to be women anyway. They'll be like, "Oh yes, I could fill out a bra." Oh yes, yes, I can wear a top and fill it out. Yesterday, a nasty Becky tried to stick her nasty pit bull on me and my Yorkie, but thanks to you, I had that thing on me. Thanks, Queen. You are so welcome. Bring out your little measuring tape. Measure size him like you went to Victoria's Secret. No, take him to Victoria's Secret and be like, all right, baby, it's time to get sized. Hey. Y'all gonna be on we gonna be on the date with these men playing the game and be like, so what instead of what do you bring to the table? So what bra size are you? Like literally, I was like, oh, that man's oh, I couldn't believe it. He really did have a titty. I couldn't believe it. And he was so embarrassed because I was like, whoa. I was like, this is the biggest case of gynecomastia I've seen. And he was even referring to them as if they were titties. He was like, I can't believe that. He's like, I can't believe it. He's like, the fact that you just said that they're the biggest you've ever seen. He said they're the biggest you've ever seen. Oh, it was so funny. Oh, it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I know he was so embarrassed. What's your favorite lip gloss? I really like all of exactly. It was just one. He said they. He said they like he had a set of titties. Um. Honestly, lately it's been everything Fenty. So yeah, I've been having everything Fenty. This is the lip plumping one. In here we go. Come on. Get focused. Get focused. All right. Well, it's not going to because it's trying to focus on me. Anyway, it's in the color lemon lava. It's like a glittery, like a gold glittery. But lately, I just been wearing all of my Fenty lip glosses because I have so many of them, and then I like Dior lip oil. If you don't want to pay for the Dior lip oil, Elf sells one for like $9 at Target. They're not quite the same. I feel like the Dior lip glow oil is it does I feel like it does hydrate more, and I feel like I don't have to reapply it as much as the Elf one. Um but yeah, I haven't used Fenty's lip oil. I haven't bought it. I know she has a lip oil. It will only get worse. Depositories are everywhere. Yes. So yeah, to the young women, be careful. Y'all might be dealing with these men that smoking NJ, and they may have titties bigger than yours. You're gonna be across. You might get on a date and be across from a man and be like, why like what is that poking out from his shirt, girl? He growing breast tissue. He turning feminine, child. Turning feminine, child. And then another thing too, I really hope the ladies that are dating y'all date multiple men. Some of y'all are so afraid to date multiple men because y'all are afraid of being called a hoe, or y'all are being afraid of being called promiscuous. Number one, you don't have to sleep with every single man that is on your roster. That's the first thing. Number two, y'all gotta quit caring. Who cares? What is going to happen if a man calls you something? Like if a man calls you like a whore or something, what's going to happen to you? Like, are you going to turn into stone? Are you going to turn into dust? Is your bank account going to turn into nothing? Are you going to grow? Are you going to get bald? What is going to happen? Like, what are the repercussions that are going to occur from a man calling you these things because you have a roster? Women care way too much. I'd be scared talking to more than one dude now since the last time I got caught. Well, guess what? If you got caught, if you got caught, then guess what? Guess what? Um, listen, at the hold on. Oh God. Hold on. What is going on? Hold on, y'all. Someone said, don't forget my comment, but I don't think it's like a super chat, and I don't scroll through. If you always want me to see your comment, you can send a super chat. It's very hard for me to Unless it's a super chat, I can't like guarantee that I'm going to be able to see it because sometimes it goes too fast and I don't like actively keep looking at it. Yeah, if you got caught, I highly doubt you're doing it right. Honestly, a roster comes with rules. Like they should be within like a certain mile radius. You never take them all to the same place or ask them to take you to the same place. Um, you have like different types of age ranges. That way they wouldn't go to the same type of like demographic that another age range would go to. Like you gotta be smart about it, right? Ilisheva, girl, hey. Any man that complains about a woman being materialistic, I always ask them, didn't men create money? Didn't y'all create money? Weren't you all the people that invented money? You're the gender that invented money, right? Okay, so that means you're materialistic. That means you're the materialistic one because you're the one that invented the shit. Women didn't invent money. And I always say, how dare me not utilize what you invented? Don't you all complain about how you all built the world and you did all these things? Well, how that would be so disrespectful of me to not take advantage of all the things that you've built. And guess what? Everything that you built requires money, right? So how dare I not take advantage of the things that you've built for us that require money? That sounds good. Cottage cheese and frozen dark cherries and blackberries. That sounds good. Yeah, whenever a man complains about you being materialistic, I would be like, didn't you create the materials? Didn't you guys build the world? Didn't you building the world make create didn't that require materials? So how dare I not take advantage of the materials that you have built for us? How dare I not utilize the materials? That would be I would be ungrateful. That just means that they're cheap. Right, y'all be using this invisible loyalty. We stop using invisible loyalty. Who cares? The only time that you really should care about your loyalty, specifically with your body, is obviously for, health purposes. You know what I mean? That's the number one reason is for health purposes. But, you know, at the end of the day, a man is not sitting here thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be loyal to my wife and I'm going to only sleep with her." Men are going to be like, "No, there's a hot woman in front of me. She wants to sleep with me. I want to sleep with her. I'm going to let it happen." So I don't know. Women are so conditioned through morality. It's crazy. Exactly. How can I cheat and we're not even in a relationship? He's talking about he owned this and nobody not going to treat me the same. Ew. I hate that. When they say they own me, when they say I'm theirs and we're not even committed, ugh. That spell work. That spell work. Any man who's telling you that they own you, you're theirs, and they haven't made an inch of commitment, they're just doing spell work on you. They're grooming you, they're training your brain. They're training your brain to believe that you're committed to them even though you're not. So that way you can think of their words. That way you can think of their words when another guy is hitting on you or texting you or DMing you and be like, "Oh yeah, Charles. Charles said I'm his. Charles said he owned me. So let me not talk to nobody." Yep, for health. And we have too much preventative technology to be scared of catching things. Yeah. Like, who cares? If y'all want to have a phase, have a phase. Like, listen, I ain't gonna to tell y'all the rotation or roster I had at one point in my life, but you just, child, just wrap it up and get tested. Wrap it up, get tested, make sure they don't know about each other. Very simple. I had one taking me out to the same restaurant. We would just go to the same restaurant. And then I had another guy, he was taking me out to a certain place. And then I just have one guy come over. Like, that's what you do. You have them, just have a spot. Have a spot and be like, this is our spot. And then just go to that spot. An old man told me I'm his, and I said, your bank account is mine. Haven't heard from him since. Exactly. Yeah, when men say anything with ownership, no, no. No, that should be a turn off. There are a lot of women that think it's like, there's a lot of women that actually take pride. We've been groomed, we've women have been groomed to take pride in being owned by a man, right? The patriarchy has conditioned you to believe that that's normal. They've hidden history from you to realize that actually, like, marriage was actually slavery of women. They pretty much traded women like chattel. It was like chattel slavery, essentially. And so when a girl got old enough, and in some cases not even old enough, I don't remember the name of the man, but he was 22 and he married a 9-year old. um but essentially, once the family felt like, okay, we need some money, they would just marry off their daughter to someone, and then they would just get the money and then be like, yes, one less mouth to feed, and now we have money. Oh yeah, a lot of women want to be conquered. A lot of women want to be conquered via brainwashing, because a lot of women, especially Pygmisha wants to be brainwashed, and Pygmisha wants to be conquered because Pygmisha is lazy, right? Women, and not only that, but Pygmisha. So this is when men say that women don't take accountability. This is what they mean when they say women don't take accountability. Women will be willfully ignorant, and women will lay down and allow all the brainwashing to take place. That way, when it doesn't work out for them, and they realize that the brainwashing was actually for their own demise, they can blame men instead of taking accountability and saying, you know what, I fell for the okey doke. I allowed myself to get brainwashed. I allowed myself to be manipulated. I allowed myself to fall for all these games and do all of these things. And then there you go. So a lot of women, actually, they don't mind being conquered, because guess what? They can blame it on someone else. They can blame it on someone else. I found pics of me married, all in flame. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because one of my friends, it reminded me, one of my friends, she said she had looked at an old video of her when she was in her last relationship, which was toxic as fuck. She's like, girl, in the video, I was crying and I had a pimple and I was fat and I was overweight. I was, these men be having us out here ugly, child. Yeah, I didn't want her to think I was laughing at her. I've been real giggly today. I have. I've been so giggly today. It's just whenever I get reminded of something, I just automatically laugh about that thing that I got reminded of. And so we were laughing over it because she's like, "Girl, I had a pimple and I was fat and everything." And then you think back, you're like, God damn, these men ruin everything. Everything. Even did you I knew this years ago, but did you know that all the trees that they grow are male trees? And so male trees cannot grow any fruit. And because they can't grow any fruit, that's pollen. So y'all's allergies, y'all sneezing from the pollen, your allergies from pollen, yeah, that's because of male trees. Even the environmentalists are misogynistic. They rather have us sneezing. They rather have us all inflamed from allergies just to have some goddamn male trees up. Yeah, I swear to God. I swear to God. The pollen comes from male trees. Exactly. If they planted female trees, we wouldn't need to buy produce. Exactly. You see how far they go to make everything artificial to have you be reliant on them because the feminine is abundant. If we lived in a world where everything was feminine, there would be no such thing as capitalism. No such thing as capitalism. There is not one physical thing that does not require the feminine. Everything physical requires a feminine. Everything. Your iPhone has cobalt in it. Cobalt is a natural mineral, or it's an element, not a mineral. It's an element. Cobalt is a naturally occurring element that gets mined in the Congo, and a lot of people lose their lives and die to mine it to be able to make an iPhone. Like literally every single physical item that you have either has some mineral, some element, something in it that are naturally occurring. That is feminine. Exactly. Exactly. Male trees are dusty, literally dusty. He was a dusty. Yep. Yep. Did y'all did you all see that video on TikTok with Tia Kemp and she did a remix of she was a fairy. She said he was a dusty. Yep, yep, he was a dusty. With a no, he wasn't. She said he was a dusty with a shrimpy in his boxies, and I saw it and I wrote it. Yep, seedless fruits are made from trees that have been essentially given a vasectomy. Yeah, because guess what? Then you can't take the seeds from those fruit and then use that to grow more fruit. Like literally, they take everything abundant from the feminine. That way, you have to rely on them. Yeah, she said it was a shrimpy in his boxies, and I saw it, and I wrote it, and it was something else that she said. It just kept getting worse and worse. Yeah, they want you to be reliant for resources because that's what funds capitalism. I think of that every time I eat fruit because I eat a lot of fruit. I eat a whole lot of fruit. Um, I think about that every time I have fruit. I'm like, this is so fucked up. Like, ugh. It's from the She Was a Fairy. Yep, yep. Like that's actually like the song She Was a Fairy. I don't remember who sings it. It's all over TikTok. But yeah, She Was a Fairy is the song, but like Tia Kemp, like on TikTok live, she was like she made like her own little version. That's amazing. In my country, there are fruit trees lining the road, free access. That's one reason I'll never move to America. In the past, a poor student, I always have food just walking outside. It's ghetto here, girl. It's so ghetto. Like, even a man earlier, he was complaining. He's like, I don't even really need this exam. And why are they ordering this exam? And I'm like, sir, you know why they're ordering this exam. Okay. Money. I'm like, did you forget we live in capitalistic America? He's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, well, then why are you complaining? You're complaining about like you could change anything. And based off his age, I was looking at him like you're a part of the fucking problem. You're one of the people that got us in this mess. That's what I would call it too. I literally would say, I'm like, these male trees are skeeting in our faces, making us sneeze. His name is on a coin somewhere. How do you build a roster with eligible men? I feel like eligible men are hard to come by. Well, first of all, eligible is very subjective. Okay, what level of eligibility are we talking about? Are we talking about millionaire eligible? Are we talking about $100,000 a year eligible? Um, you know, that's the first thing because you have to kind of be realistic on what level of eligibility, because obviously the higher up in eligibility is that you want to go, that means that like you would have to put yourself you would have to put yourself in the spaces where those eligible men are. So we're talking about like a country club. We are talking about, you could take equestrian classes or pickleball classes. You can get a gym membership at like a luxury gym, a wellness gym. um the thing about it, like the higher up you go, the more you got to work. It's easy to get average man. I saw that too. I don't know who that person is, but I think it's a woman. My generation, Gen X, made it all worse. Yep. Does have money to give, always accept everything from men. There are micro providers. These men don't get schmecks, but yeah, I like micro providers. Micro providers are my favorite because I can just be very passive with them. They just make my life passively, and I don't have to invest a whole lot of energy. I just don't have the energy to give them. Like dating is so far off of my. I'm over here trying to build an empire helping women. Okay, I ain't got time. I ain't got time. I ain't got the energy to give to any man right now. I'm trying to help and take care of women. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad I'm out of the little so far I'm out of the little subscriber funk that I was in. Subscribers are growing, so I'm very happy about that. Also, as far as Discord access will only be for patron members. I have to have it like that for safety reasons. I'm hoping by this weekend. I've been going back and forth with technical support because essentially on Discord, I had a Discord account, I deleted it. When you link a number on a Discord account, you have to use a new number on a different account. And even though I used an email for my second account, they still needed my number linked to the first account to be able to verify the account, which means I could not verify my number. So I had to go back and forth with technical support. They're claiming that they got everything together for me to do the Discord and to give the patron members access. So I'm going to try that this weekend. Um, once again, I have like a very busy weekend too, again, at least on Saturday. So the Discord will only be for patron members because I need to keep it safe because like I can't have like a growing channel of people for like meetups and I don't want men in there. You know what I mean? So it will only be for patrons. Cause I ain't trying to I'm not trying to have randos. I ain't trying to have randos be in our business. And even then, like I mean, of course I'll be active in the Discord, but I'm definitely gonna be like, hey, like put a little feeler out there and let me know who you are because I don't want, I don't want men in there because I do want it to be like a community and I do want like, dating experiences, level up stuff, fitness, like you guys can like share your pictures and things like that. So I want it to be safe. Yeah, like have like a little introduction or whatever. And if you guys want to like post your picture and things like that, or have meetups with people that are like in the same town, in the same area. You could talk about like dates you went on or what you're doing in your free time and just obviously discourse, outside of like whatever thing we have going on over on here. How to not 100% give a damn, not just with men, even with women being jealous or they low key like you, but you don't go that way. At the end of the day, the number one way to not care about any of that stuff is just to understand that you don't have any control over it, right? Um, the a lot of women like to think that if you care, the more you care, women conflate caring with control. It's subconscious. It's subconscious. Women think the more I care, the more I pour into something, the more I invest into something, I have control over it. You don't have control over it. So the moment you realize, even if I do care, that's not going to keep a man, that's not going to stop a man from wanting to sleep with someone else. That's not going to keep a man committed to me. That's not going to force a man to want to give me princess treatment. Once you accept the fact that you don't have any control over anyone or over anything, you won't care because guess what? If you doll yourself up and you make yourself presentable and someone's jealous, and then you decide, well, I'm not going to wear my makeup, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Well, then guess what? Later down the line, if it's your energy, it's your aura, you're going to find people that are still jealous of you. So you might as well not care. You might as well do whatever it is that you want to do because contorting and fixing and people pleasing and doing all these things is not going to give you any outcome because those are means of control. Those are subconscious means of control. You're doing things in a certain way. You're making decisions hoping for a certain outcome. You don't have any control over that. Man alert, man alert. He always comments, I think. If you care, you don't have enough going on in your life. Exactly. You just care less when you keep yourself busy. Yeah, just be busy. Be busy. Keep yourself occupied. Keep yourself occupied. At the end of the day, there are plenty of things out there for you to do. Like, you cannot sit here, like, no person could sit here and tell me, no person can sit here and tell me that they are doing 100% of everything it is that they need to do every single day. You can't tell me that. There's absolutely no way. Your bank account is not where you want it to be at. Your body is not where you want it to be at. Your emotional management is not where you want it to be at. Like, come on. There's just no way. Self mastery is a very, very long game. Um, The only men I trust these days are gay men, not bi, but totally gay. Child, I don't even trust my own father. I don't even trust my own father. Love him, but don't trust him. Hey girl, welcome. I'm only probably only gonna be on here for another like 10 minutes. Cause I got it was a hefty week for me. I had to do tax stuff this week. I had to get my teeth cleaned this week because I'm gonna get a gum graft in the next month. So even this live stream was a little bit hard because like I got all the dental stuff done yesterday, and so like the side of my tongue I bit, and the side of my cheek I bit, and I've always had a permanent retainer, but like I had to get everything clean. And so like I probably have like a little bit of a lisp. Because I have to get used to like I have to get used to how like my retainer actually feels. Um so yeah, I'm only gonna be on here for probably like 10 more minutes. Watching while I wait on my friends for girls' night. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Mini trees. No capacity for hate. It's either love or I don't care. And that's the place where you need to be, indifference. Cuz hating men essentially it's going to drain energy out of you. You know what I mean? Having a disdain for men is going to drain energy, you know? Do I, get disgusted at times with like, their nature and things like that? Of course. But on a deeper level, you know their nature. I know their nature. I know their nature isn't going to change because that's who they are, and I just move accordingly with knowing their nature. It's really that simple. My father wanted to keep my mother in a nursing home. Girl, that don't surprise me. That don't surprise me. Men, I said earlier, men want to do the least amount of work. That men are not nurturing. They don't want to take care of. They don't want to take care of someone else. Because guess what? If they're taking care of someone else, how are they going to have enough time to be out on the street chasing cat? Right? How are they going to have enough time? On TikTok, I was talking about the DL whisper. And because yeah, when the DL Houston list came out and those gay men were like, "That's not safe. You're outing people." I was like, "Oh, okay." I actually love men from my experience. They make my life easier in a multitude of ways, but they can be very dense. I wouldn't say I love men. I do love what they can do for me. I do love what they have done for me, but their inherent nature in them as people, I don't love them. I don't love them as people, but I will always love what they've provided for me and what they've done for me. I appreciate I have appreciation for that, what they've done for me. But them as people, I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to them as people. Their nature, knowing who they are. I'm just kind of like, okay, you exist in this way, cool. Um, but I definitely don't love them. I definitely don't love them. She said a pig, Misha, oink oink. We need to start spelling pig Misha like that. Pig Misha. What do you say when men ask your age? I make them guess. You tell me. That's what I say. You tell me. And I make them guess. And then they're like, uh, uh. I just make them guess. I make them guess, and whatever age they say, if even if it's wrong, I'm like, "Yep, that's it." Because they always guess I'm younger. That's the reason why I make them guess. Because a lot of the time, a lot of the time when men are asking you your age, it's usually because you probably look younger. You look younger than what they might suspect your age might be. So a lot of the time they want to know your age to get validation of them being a creeper or not. And I want them to expose if they're a creeper or not. So that's why I always make them guess because men always guess younger. Even there's a guy, I'm older than him, and I'm cool with him, and I've told him my actual age. And I've told him my actual age twice. He still thinks that I'm younger than him. So I just got to the point where I'm like, yep, I'm 27. I'm 27 years old. I just started letting him believe I'm younger because he just would never. He would keep on assuming he just knew. He just knew that I was younger than him when really I'm older than him. Exactly. The only person that's gonna make you be older is someone old. Because they're projecting their disdain that they have for being old. So they want to make you old too. Exactly. What age do you want me to be? They may not take too well to that one though. They're gonna be like, "Girl, you trying to get me arrested? You trying to put a charge on me?" You got to be careful with that one. Right. They want you to exactly let a man answer that. He gonna be like, I want you to be 9 years old. Cause exactly, them men is sick. You ask them that, they gonna say, oh, I want you to be 12. Y'all, I even had a woman earlier. She tried to project her age onto me. Y'all, the woman looked disgusting. Okay. The woman looked disgusting. She was overweight. She barely had any teeth. She probably had 8 teeth in her mouth. She looked like she came fresh out the trailer park. Fresh out the trailer park. And, the woman was damn near 60 years old. And this is the South, okay? People say yes, ma'am, all the time. So she asked me if she could close the door. I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, don't call me ma'am. I'm old enough to be your mother. Which is why I fucking called you ma'am. It's a term of endearment and we're in the South. We're in Florida. Like, why are you acting fucking brand new? Obviously, she felt some type of way because she didn't want to feel old because I called her ma'am. So then she put her hand around me. She tried to put her hand around me, and I moved her hand, and I was like, "Do not touch me. Do not touch me." So then we walk into my room, and I said, "Would you mind closing that door for me?" Well, why can't you close the door? I'm like, so anyway, we're here to do this exam or whatever of your neck. And I said, I need you to lay down. Well, do you need me to lay down this way? Because we're doing this side of the neck. Okay. In my head, I'm thinking, first of all, we're not only doing one side of your neck, I need to look at both sides. I said, you're going to lay down where the pillow is. And then she went, you're going to lay down on your back. If I have to look at your neck, why would I have you lay down any other way? Like, what? Then I'm like, I have to ask you a few questions. So then I start asking her the questions. All of this is in my chart. All of this stuff is in my chart. And I straight up said, if I had access to see this in your chart, why would I be asking you these questions? And then she shut the fuck up. Then she shut the It's because she saw a beautiful young black woman. She saw a beautiful young black woman who's young and pretty. I looked exactly like this with my scrubs on, who's young and pretty and lively. She's making a good living for herself. That woman's been a smoker for 40 years. Her teeth are gone. She's big as hell. Like, mm-mm. Then then I do the exam and she's like, "Oh, it's nice to know what you're." She's like, "Wow, you really know what you're doing." And it's like, "Bitch." In my head, I'm thinking, "Bitch, you lucky I didn't pretend I didn't know what I'm doing because your results are in my hands. Your results are in my hands, okay? I could have you get surgery tomorrow if I wanted to. If I really really cared. I could have you get surgery." And so she got up off the bed and she was like, "Oh, wait, I'm getting dizzy." And I was like, "Okay, take your time." And then she was like, "Don't get old. Don't get old." And I'm like, "See, that's the reason why you was all sensitive about the word ma'am, because you are upset over the fact that you're old. And you gotta look at that in the mirror every day." I would be bitter too. I would be bitter too if I looked like that. I got 8 teeth in my mouth. I'm all big and overweight. I smoked for 40 years. My teeth don't fell out because I don't smoke for smoked so much. I would be mad too. She looked like that, and I called her ma'am. Oh, hey Lola. A former schoolmate tried to add me. She looks like she's 60 already. I had to decline because she was making me feel old as hell. I'm only 30. It's like, bruh, get your old ass on. Start taking some collagen. Go get some Botox. Get them crow's feet out. Like, quit trying to make everyone else be old. The more you talk, the more I see ogres from Trolls or the Oogie Boogie monster from the night before Christmas. Florida is the real America. Ciao. Like, you could tell that, like, that woman, you could tell she's been through so much. That's why I was like, lady, I could only imagine. That woman looks like she been on the struggle bus round trip. Yes, don't get old. Don't have a disgusting lifestyle. They never say that part. The human body is amazing when you care for it, looking like Jabba the Hutt. That's the part they never say. They're like, they say don't get old as if you could just eat whatever you want, be immobile, not be active, and do whatever the hell you want. And this is just a part of the aging process. It's like, no, your aging process is indicative of your lifestyle. How do we stay not a white refrigerator? In white refrigerator, she was. White refrigerator, she fucking was. That lady looked terrible. That lady looked terrible. How do we stay young? Eating healthy, collagen. I heard there's some supplement. I'm not gonna buy it because honestly, I haven't been on top of the supplements that I already have, chow. Um, Not my mom sending me the funniest thing. Hold on. It's called Bota something. I know I have it in my search bar. Is it Goku? Go to cola. Go to cola. Don't do this. There it is. Go to cola. And they say it's really good for your aging or anti-aging, and then it's also very good for your brain development. I'm telling you, that fucking lady looked like 3 scoops of ice cream. That lady looked like 3 scoops of ice cream in a damn waffle cone. That lady looked disgusting. She's like, that lady looked a mess. I was like, ugh. I was like, no wonder why you're angry. I don't blame you. LOL, I have a white refrigerator. Girl, it's okay. It's okay. Listen, you got someplace to store your food. Listen, I didn't even want her arm on my arm. I made her put her arm to the side because she was like this. I was like, I need you to put your arm. I was like, I need you to put your. Why was I going to say arms like that? I need your arms. I was like, I need your arms on the side of your body because I had to scan her neck and I was like, I'm not going to put my arm on top of your arm. I was like, move that thing. It's like, you already touched me. You already touched me. I don't want to have I don't want to have your energy attached to me in any other way. Get it away from me. Like I was starting to sound like Glorilla. Music. Banana peel on a grapefruit. She was wearing super tight clothes, super tight clothes. She had on like and here's the thing too. She wore the worst thing you could possibly wear. Mind you, the woman is wide waisted. She was in apple shape. She was in apple shape. She wearing a tank top with horizontal lines. So you're apple shape wearing horizontal lines. What the fuck? You you're just drawing all of this attention to your wide stomach. I need some vitamins. I don't know what to take. Um, Everyone's vitamin stack is different, but I just kind of feel like for your general health, okay, I feel as though so I have sea moss, okay. I take sea moss. I take 2 tablespoons of that every morning because minerals are very important. Minerals are very important. If you have a balanced diet, you really don't have to worry about your vitamin intake. It's really your minerals. So I use sea moss. Um, y'all are roasting the hell out this lady. Sea moss. I do take like a woman's daily multivitamin. Okay, I do take like a hair, skin, and nail. I also take NAC because I'm like very prone to like respiratory things, and NAC is very good for your respiratory system. I take fish oil, zinc, vitamin C, and then I take lion's mane. Girl, I have supplements. Oh, and then at night I'll take magnesium glycinate, but I'm not consistent at all taking them. I'm kind of like Davina, honestly. I've really lowered my supplements down to nothing. Um, Lately I've just been taking CMOS. Like honestly, I've been taking CMOS. The thing about it is that the with supplements, I feel like it really does have to be based on you personally if you're having any current issues. You know what I mean? So like if it's something specifically that you struggle with, maybe you have like a joint issue or maybe you have respiratory issues, you can look for natural supplements for that. But in most cases, I mean, yeah, vitamin D, your essentials, I think, for everyone is always going to be fish oil, vitamin D. vitamin C, zinc, iron. Like, I feel as though those are kind of just like your regular well-rounded supplements to take. Um, and then like a collagen powder. Yeah, K2D3 is very good for your heart. Did her teeth look like that meme of that lady saying, "I can smell you, Punani," from Instagram? I know exactly what you're talking about, Lord. Those teeth, her mouth looks so scary. I tried to avoid looking. I just saw that one little tooth hanging. I was like, oh God. My only social media is just the social media I'm making money on. I'm not on Meta at all. No Instagram, no Facebook. All right, y'all. I'm off this thing. It was nice to return. It was nice to return. Um, I hope y'all have a wonderful Friday night. Um, I may be back this weekend. I'm not sure. I'm trying to find like a good balance. Because it is nice posting like the shorts every day and then like popping in here for like live streams. So we'll see how this live stream does now that I got like a couple more subscribers. But per usual, thank you all for supporting me and joining the live stream. And I will see you ladies next time. Bye. Thank you, Anon, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for squeezing in that last super chat before I got off of here. Okay, for real this time. Bye.